Thank you.
Kelly, there is a song sheet. I don't know what you're talking about, but I need the song sheet. It's over there. People are giving it out. So nice to have you here. Yes. A lot. Maybe some people may say too many. I don't know.
Acoustically, it's horrible.
Let's start. No.
With these pews facing forward, years ago,
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. We're going to do a little bit of warm-up music. And feel free to say hi and welcome each other. The second song that we're going to do in our warm-up is one of the songs on your sheets. And we're going to have Chazan Bonaducci help us out with that one. was written by the great Bill Monroeowitz, I think it was, from the Bill Monroe. And now we're going to invite our wonderful cantor from next door to join us. And you have song sheets, by the way. And this is one of the songs on that sheet. It's called There's a Place That We Pray. And as Rabbi so eloquently put it the other day at church, that everywhere we are, God is there. There's a place that I pray to the Holy One in words of yesterday. It's a holy place. Wherever I go, God is with me. This I know. Repeat after us. Before I sleep, when I rise, I hold the Holy One right before my eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. This holy place is in my heart, filled with love and set apart. Wherever I am, I walk right in to a holy building that lives within. There's a place. There's a place. There's a place that I pray to the Holy One in words of yesterday. It's a holy place. It's a holy place. Wherever I go, God is with me. This I know. Before I sleep, when I rise, I hold the Holy One right before my eyes. Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. This wondrous world, in everything I see, I feel the Holy One inside of me. Don't need for wall or roof above, just need to feel God's mercy and love. There's a place that I pray to the Holy One in words of yesterday. It's a holy place. Wherever I go, God is with me. This I know. Before I sleep, when I rise, I hold the Holy One right before my eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. My Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Good job, you guys. No, that's it.
So in our tradition, we greet people on the Sabbath, on our Shabbat, by saying Shabbat Shalom, which means a Shabbat of peace. And then you respond after that. So I'm going to try it. We're going to see how much you really want to feel the spirit of Shabbat. That will be reflected in how forcefully and how beautifully you respond with your Shabbat Shalom. So let's try it. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's a great Shabbat. They are ready, Father Evans. They are. That's a... Oh, it's so wonderful to be able to share with our community next door, with St. Bernardines, sense of relationship that we have been able to forge over these many years. It's probably the 12th or 13th year that we've been doing this. I would like to give you, for those of you visiting, a couple of sort of the ground rules of our sanctuary. This is our Sabbath, which we have begun already. When the sun goes down, right before that, our Shabbat begins. During that time, when we observe Shabbat, we put aside technology and instruments, if you will, so especially cell phones. If you could turn them off, please. Right? By the way, they're better even if they're off. We want to give you, if you want the best sacred hour or so of your life, you just turn those things off. Right? That's what you have to do. You just have to forget them. There's no Dodger game tonight, right? Yay, there you go. Thank God. No Dodger game going. We'll start our prayers on Tuesday for them. So just turn them off. Just leave them away in terms of also not taking pictures, please. The idea is to be in the moment. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel compared to Shabbat to a palace in time. And that when Shabbat begins, we sort of enter into that palace and we enjoy that sanctity. Those of you who are visiting here for the first time, we'll cue you in for a couple of other things. Very often, so we're going to be following in the prayer book. The first prayer that we're going to be doing, actually, you won't need it, but we'll explain a little bit of using this a little bit later. So tell you what, to warm up, let me have you all stand. Put your prayer books down. Put your arms around your neighbor, all right? Even if you don't know them, we want you to feel the love of community. Put your arms around. We like to say it's one arm per neighbor. If you have two around the same neighbor, you're a little too close. Just one. And this is Shalom Aleichem, which is welcoming in the Shabbat angels that enhance our Shabbat. If you know the words, you'll join along. If not, just sway and hum and feel the beauty of the incoming of Shabbat as we join together.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Borchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharei, Malachei Elyon. HaKadosh Baruch, HaKadosh Baruch, HaKadosh Baruch.
We remain standing, if you will, for a moment, and after we do this ritual, I'll explain a little bit more about it, but we light and we bless the candles on Shabbat. I'd like to call forward Farida, Shana, Kayla, and Shamsi Hemachar, if you'll join us up here, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu lehadlik ner V'tzivanu lehadlik ner V'tzivanu lehadlik ner
Almighty God, grant me and my loved ones a chance truly to rest on this Shabbat. May the light of these candles drive out from among us the spirit of anger, the spirit of harm. Send blessings to my children, that they may walk in the ways of your Torah, your light. As the great doors of the night are opening, we come into the clean quiet of Shabbat. Let us be thankful as we light these candles for this moment of peace.
And we all say,
Amen. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai.
So it's a custom to light 2 candles on Shabbat. You'll notice there are 2 here, but only 1 is lit. That was not intentionally done. There were originally, both of them were lit earlier, but the air conditioning has extinguished one of them. Part of Jewish tradition says you're not supposed to kindle a fire on Shabbat. So during the whole 25 hours or so of Shabbat that begins right before sunset until 3 stars come out at night, this is an indication, imagine ancient times with no electricity, nothing to create light, that if you didn't light something before Shabbat began, you'd be in darkness for the whole night and for dinner and for everything else. So they created ritual that sanctified and brought light into the home. And it is part of that ritual that we constantly, if you will, share Shabbat and holidays lighting the candles. So even 1 is acceptable. We're going to be able now to follow in your prayer book, as I said. In Hebrew, it's called Siddur, by the way. Siddur means order, and it was the ordering of the prayers. We're going to begin page 13.
And Rabbi, there's also on the sheet here.
And
on the sheet here, Shiru Ladonai.
For this particular prayer, you'll also find in the handout as well. This is part of what we call our Kabbalat Shabbat, the introduction and welcoming of Shabbat. So page 13 and your handout, you'll be able to follow along as well.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sing a new song. Sing a new song unto God. Sing all the world a new song. Sing a new song unto God. Sing all the world Here's the most common Jewish words, Hebrew words there are. Here we go. The easiest. Lai, 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 lai. It means lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie. join us. La, 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 la,
Amanda Pippo, thank you. Yasher Koach. So some of you may know that Hebrew as a language is written from right to left as opposed to left to right. You may not know, though, that when we put into books the Hebrew prayers, we go from left to right as well. So those of you who are trying to find page 13, at the top side of your book, you're going to find it was on the other side of your book. This is part of the wonderful Jewish traditions that we have. It makes you think which direction we're going in life. By the way, this is what we call every third Shabbat. And every third Shabbat, we have a different musical theme. Each Friday night of the month, first, second, third, fourth, here at Temple Aliyah, we have different types of services. And every third Shabbat is a different theme. Sometimes you'll come and you'll hear rock and roll. Sometimes you'll come and you'll hear African Shabbat. Sometimes you'll hear the Beatles. What else might you hear, Chazan, if you come on?
Jazz.
Jazz.
Jazz. Shabbat in Israel. Music you might hear in Israel. Reggae.
And reggae. So this is bluegrass. So sometimes, instead of responding amen, you may want to say yeehaw. I know there's that tendency. I know there is. But tonight is about, and the reason we use music so much, is to feel the sense of prayer in your heart. In Hebrew, we call that kavanah. We call it a sense of intentionality, to be one in prayer. That's what this is about. It's not a show. This is really to engage you and to find different modes of connection. So you're going to find, for example, page 20 now, a prayer which is called Romemu, in the heights of God. And if you look how this prayer book works, you'll see on page 20, on the left-hand side, right-hand side, you'll always find Hebrew if you're trying. Left-hand side, you'll see English translation. And if there is transliteration, you can follow along as well in the red. And Romemu is here. So the third line from the bottom where there's a little triangle there, if you want to learn Hebrew tonight, you can do this. You can pray together Romemu as we join together.
Okay, wonderful. And the words, mean God is exalted on God's high mountain, and we bow towards God. And I thought, using the idiom of country music and bluegrass music, that we might as well, since we were in the mountains, yodel. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lahar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. Try it. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. All right.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vayishtachavu lahar kodsho.
Yeah.
Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu.
Yeah.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lahar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu. Try it, everybody. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu.
On page 23, you'll find L'chadodi. This focus of this prayer is welcoming in the Shabbat bride. It's a beautiful image that we have. So we're going to join together in the first two stanzas on page 23. Again, there's transliteration on the opposite page to the Hebrew. And then, when it's time, we're going to skip from that second stanza. We're actually going to turn to page 25. It'll be the final stanza there. At that time, we'll acknowledge, don't do it yet, we're going to rise at that time. The doors are being closed now. And then the beautiful, like imagine the Shabbat bride coming in. It will open up and we welcome in that Shabbat bride. We begin, we remain seated, page 23.
Okay, so I want to share with everyone why we're doing it this way. I was in Israel at a festival on the weekend, and we had a Kabbalat Shabbat service just like this, and I thought, oh, I'm going to find something with real taste of Israel to bring back to my congregation. And so they sang this, and the reason why is because it was on the Sfat, and people in white robes, the Kabbalists, would invite in Shabbat, the Sabbath bride, and so what a better way to sing it than this. 1, 2, 3. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, ייחה! לך דודי לקראת קהלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המלחם, אדוני אחד ושמו, אחד ושם ותפארת בלי תילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. בראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה.
We rise together, page 25, the final stanza, Bo'im the Shalom. Turn towards the door, we welcome in that beautiful Shabbat bride.
בואי בשלום עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת. Let's sing the English word. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, בני שבת לקבלה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה.
You may be seated. We're back into the supplement that you have, that additional sheet where it says Mizmor Shir. This is, may we sing a song of praise to God on this Shabbat. And you'll be able to follow along Hebrew and English, composed and written by our own Chazan Stein. We'll be able to join together, again, the supplement.
This is Psalm number 92. And most of these songs you've been hearing are Psalms, except for the last one. And we all have different ways of doing Psalms in our own traditions. Not a lot of country music versions of them, though. When people ask me about music in the ancient world, I say, you know, it didn't really originate in Israel. Actually, many things did, but the Nashville of the ancient world was Egypt. So you can pretty much count on that. style of music. Mizmor Shir. Mizmor Shir liyom haShabbat, tov lahodot ladonai. Mizmor Shir liyom haShabbat, ulzamer l'shimcha elyon. Sing a song of Shabbat. It's good to sing His praise. Sing a song of Shabbat. Exalted is His name. Morning and evening, b'nevel v'chinor, on the strings of the heart, we sing unto the Lord. Mizmor Shir liyom haShabbat, tov lahodot ladonai. Mizmor Shir liyom haShabbat, uzamer l'shimcha elyon. Tzadik hatamar yivrach, the righteous flourish like a palm. Standing right, standing tall, like a cedar in Lebanon. Morning and evening, b'nevel v'chinor, on the strings of the heart, we sing unto the Lord. B'nevel v'chinor, on the strings of the heart, we sing unto the
Page 39A, you'll find this is the prayer we call the Baruch Hu, which literally means praise of God, blessing of God. This is our call and response acknowledging community. Only when we have a prayer community, a quorum of at least 10 people, do we actually do this prayer. It acknowledges the prayer leader who's calling us together. So you'll see how the Chazan, the cantor, will bow, acknowledging his role as our prayer leader. We're going to recite the second line and bow, acknowledging our role as a sacred community. We rise together, please, page 39A.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Together, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We sing lai lai, ya la lai, la lai, ya la la lai, lai lai, ya la lai, la lai, lai, la lai, lai, ya la lai, la lai, ya la la lai, 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 ya la lai, 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 lai.
You may be seated. Let's continue on page 40. We have Ahavat Olam. This is singing of God's love of us. And then those of you who know, the next prayer will be Shema Yisrael and Ve'ahavta, in which we profess our love for God. So you'll find Ahavat Olam, page 40.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot u'mishpatim otanu lemadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shochveinu u'b'kumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam ba'ed Ki הם חיינו ויורח ימינו ובהם נגד יומם כי הם חיינו Let's try it everyone כי הם חיינו ויורח ימינו ובהם נגד יומם בלילה ויורח ימינו ובהם נגד יומם בלילה כי הם חיינו ויורח ימינו ובהם נגד יומם Just you guys, כי הם חיינו, here we go חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגד יומם בלילה כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגד יומם בבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני וברוך שמו אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל
Page 41, the words of the Shema. Shauna, you're going to come forward. Our bat mitzvah, our tradition, boys and girls become, come on, become of age, if you will. You've heard many bar or bat mitzvah. Over there? Okay. Wait for me, okay? Tomorrow she will be reading from the Torah, won't you?
Yeah.
Yes, she will. Don't forget that. And by the way, in that scroll they don't read from a book that has vowels and vocalization. It's actually from a Torah written the same way it's been written for about 3,000 years, in which there's no vocalization, there's no punctuation, there's no hints, just letters. It'd be like playing, what's that game where you just have letters up, no vowels? Now you have to guess the words. Right? What is that? Wheel of Fortune, right? That would be it. It'd be
I'm
like
buy
just...
an E.
What?
I want to buy an E.
You want to buy an E. No vowels. In the Torah, there's no vowels. So it's just the consonantal sounds, and so you really have to learn it and to know it and to memorize it. It's not easy, is it?
No.
No. But you deserve to be a bat mitzvah, don't you, because of that?
Yeah.
Yes, right answer. You'll see many of us, by the way, the words of the Shema, page 41, it's customary on the first 6 words where we think and pray the oneness with God to close our eyes and just reflect on these words of, listen, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, and we as two communities coming together help bring God's oneness together in this moment. And Shana will lead us right now.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Elohim metzavecha hayom al vavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha v'benecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shoklecha u'bekumecha u'shatam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafon b'einecha u'chtatam al mezizo beitecha u'visharecha.
Page 42, we continue either Hebrew or English, whichever you prefer.
Leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hoseiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
Thank you, Sean. Go ahead. You can sit down. We'll call you back a little bit later. Page 44, Michamocha. Who is like unto you, O God, as we join together.
1, 2, 3, 4. Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh, Dora tehilot, osei beleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, pechei hayam lifnei Moshe, ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimlo le'olam ha'el. Adonai et Yaakov, Galilea, Chazak Vivenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gaal Yisrael.
In your Shabbat supplements that you received when you walked in, the larger one, if you'll open inside, you'll find on the bottom part there's a prayer box labeled Refa'enu, which means heal us. We take this moment in our service, whether for ourselves, for loved ones, for anyone we know, whether it's physical issues that are dealing with, whether it's emotional issue, whether it's an addiction, whatever it is, we believe to be able to send out prayers of strength and comfort. So we're going to read together in the English, and you're going to see there's a line to trail off, whether it's for yourself to think of or someone else, and then we will conclude and join together in this prayer song of Refa'enu. So let's read together the English, please. Heal us, O Lord, and we shall be healed. Help us and save us, for you are our glory. Grant perfect healing for all our afflictions. May it be your will, Lord our God, God of our ancestors, to send perfect healing of body and soul to, at this time, your private prayers. In our thoughts and prayers, and those in the community in needing of healing, of strength and comfort, may God please help bring it to them speedily, and let us say amen. Page 45, we continue with a prayer, Hashkivenu, which prays that God will place over us that sukkah, that tabernacle of peace, as we join together.
3, 4, 1. Hashkivenu Adonai l'shalom. May we lie down in peace. May we rise up again, our God, in the shelter of your wings. Remove from us every danger, hurt and sorrow, from behind and before us, when we come and when we go. The words of this are on your song sheet, by the way. It's called Hashkivenu, May We Lie Down.
Hanun varachomata, gracious, caring are you. Guard your people, Israel, and Jerusalem too. Hapoes Sukkot Shalom, Aleinu. Spread your shelter of peace on us, Hashkivenu. Haporei Sukkot Shalom, Aleinu. Spread your shelter of peace on us, Hashkivenu. Spread your shelter of peace on us, Hashkivenu.
Temple Aliyah, it's my honor and pleasure to welcome the new pastor at St. Bernardine's of Siena, our next door neighbor. You grew accustomed and you got to know Father McNamara. And it's been my pleasure to get to know Father Michael Evans, who grew up in Glendale. All right, so he's, local born. If he speaks with an Irish accent, it's just putting it on, just so you know that. Just so you know, he's just putting it on. It's such a pleasure to welcome him. I've gotten to know him a little bit. I look forward to even more. It's such a pleasure to welcome you to our community. Give him a hand, please. Just make him feel welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I am not accustomed to public speaking. This past June, I celebrated 25 years of ordination, so I have been involved in the ministry for 25 years. However, I first heard the call of God at the age of 8, and that call was to be of service. And it's a wonderful call because there was a priest in my parish, and this is something that has always stuck out in my mind. I was at a baptism, and at this baptism, we use oils for the ceremony. One of the oils that is used is called the chrism oil. It's used in 3 of our sacraments. And the first time that we're anointed with the chrism is at baptism. So the priest turned to me with the vial that had the chrism oil and said, "Michael, would you help me?" And at that moment, I thought I could do what he's doing. And so the call came very early for me in being a servant leader for God's people. We know that in our traditions, we have these wonderful servant leaders that are called to be there to help us, to lead us, to guide us. And our community shares some commonalities, but we also have some differences in the way in which our communities are governed. And so having the spiritual leader, the prayer leaders before us are there to bring us closer to God. And we all know that. the Hazan, the rabbi, what do? They help us access God. And it's the same thing for us as priests. We base our priesthood on the priesthood of Jesus Christ, whom we believe to be the Son of God. And that priesthood means that we are called to be people who offer prayer, that we are called to be prophets in the world in speaking God's word, and that we are called to be members of God's family. And so that's the basic call that we have. And we have two different types of priesthoods, if you will, in our tradition. The first tradition is the priesthood of the faithful. So everyone is called to be a person of prayer. Everyone is called to be a person who brings God's word to the world, so to be a prophet. And everyone is to be a member of God's kingdom. And so that is what is called the priesthood of the faithful. Then we have what I am, and it doesn't make me any more special than anybody else. But those who are called to the ministerial priesthood are called from among the faithful to be servant leaders and to follow the example of Jesus, who said, first of all, the reason why I have come is to bring you closer to God and to restore you in your walk with God. And so as priests, we take and we offer those prayers for our community. We lead our communities in prayer. And some of you may have heard some of these things that Catholics do. And one of the things is we have these things called sacraments. And sacraments are encounters that we have as community to reflect upon God's presence in our lives. There's a traditional translation or a traditional definition for this. It's a sign, an outward sign instituted to bring grace. So we have in our tradition, we have 7 sacraments. And the wonderful thing about these sacraments are that they take and they bring the whole community together. And at the celebration of the sacrament, it is the bishop, the priest, or the deacon who leads the community in these prayers. But again, we know that the faithful are very important. And so with the 7 sacraments, there is one sacrament that the bishop, the priest, or the deacon does not give. And that is the sacrament of matrimony. We believe then in our tradition that the ministers of the sacrament of matrimony are the bride and groom. And so the bishop, the priest, or the deacon is there as the official church witness, but it's that couple that comes together and says, this is what God has called us to. So because we have a sacramental system, we have that connection with our people in the priesthood of Jesus Christ. And so we are called to be present at all moments in people's lives. Last Sunday, when the rabbi was talking and he was sharing a little bit about his experience of being a rabbi, and eventually got to the point of saying, you know what, I might be talking myself out of a job. I think you're okay. I think you're okay. But because of the system we have, a priest or a bishop or a deacon are essential to the experience of the community. So we are there in the celebration of the sacraments. We are there at the moments when someone is baptized. We are there in those times of great joy in people's lives, and we are there in the times of challenge. We are there in those moments when it's perhaps the person's last moments here on earth, that we are there with them praying. And so we have this connection with people. So when we talk about and reflect on this sacred relationship between clergy and congregant, it's very humbling as a priest to be invited into people's very personal lives and connecting in such a way that brings people closer to God. And so it's a wonderful gift that we have for ourselves. And just a little bit of a formation issue. Because I heard the call at the age of 8, the youngest I could enter into seminary was at 14. So I had to wait a few years. And then I spent 4 years in high school seminary, and then 4 years in college seminary, and then 4 years in theological studies. So we do a lot of study, just as Hassan and rabbis do. To know the traditions, to be able to share the faith, to give history, to allow that faith to come alive for people. And so that wonderful formation that we have. In the process, when we are ordained, then there are some things that are different in the governance of parishes or church communities. I understand that in the Jewish tradition, it is a board that hires and moves moves people on to other ministerial opportunities. In our structure, we have the bishop or the archbishop is in charge of us. So we as priests, when we are ordained, we make promises to the bishop. We make promises of poverty, to not live in extravagance, in chastity, and in obedience to our bishop. And so we are at his beck and call because we share in his ministry. So he is the one we also have a board that reviews things, but they take and they refer that to the archbishop, and then he makes the final decision and says, now you're going to this parish. So we don't have the people in the pews with one saying, we want you, no, we don't want you, even though sometimes people want to say that. And so we have a different structure. So we're assigned to parishes for a certain amount of time. And I know that in the Jewish tradition, people can stay for forever. And ever. Amen. And so when we're first ordained, we stay in a parish for 4 years. In our second assignment, we can stay from 5 to 7 years. And then usually by the time we're in our third assignment, we are assigned as a pastor, so a leader of a parish community. And there we have 6 years with renewable 6 years. And because of that, we can stay about that time, and then the archbishop says, well, now it's time for you to move on. And here's your new community. And sometimes that's challenging. I find that as I've moved from parish to parish, each one gets a little bit more difficult because it's a longer period of time. And again, that connection that we have with our people. To be able to see generation grow, to hear people's stories, to journey with them is such a tremendous, humbling gift for us. And so with this last move, it was difficult for me to say goodbye to my last community in Arcadia. But when I got here to St. Bernardine, I was welcomed with open arms. And so it made the transition much easier. But at the same time, I know that St. Bernardine's, they had a wonderful gift with Father McNamara for 16 years. And so people, of course, always want to measure the new guy to the old guy. And I think we're doing okay. Father Mac was very kind, and he said at the very beginning, don't worry, I'm not going to get in your way. As I'm retiring, you're the boss. But I said, please don't disappear because I'll need your help. And so he's been very good and very gracious in that. So reflecting upon that relationship, again, hearing people's stories, this is something that I learned very early on, to listen to people and their story. A very important way in which we connect, to be able to hear the joys in people's lives, to be able to hear the struggles that take place, to be able to be with people in those times of questioning and seeing people grow. Hearing those stories are so important. You know that as we celebrate our liturgies, that we take and we remember, and I know that we get that from you, the Jewish community. We get that notion of remembrance. It's not just something that's in the past, but it's something that's made present to us today. And so when we celebrate our Mass, we celebrate, even though it was 2,000 years ago when Jesus first celebrated that, we remember what he did. We bring that forward. And then the challenge is to take and then share with others what we've just experienced. And so we are sent and we are commissioned to spread God's word because we are called to be people of prayer, prophets speaking God's word, and remembering that we are part of God's family. And so it's an awesome gift to be able to do that. And so I'm very grateful to be able to stand before you tonight. I was standing outside, I was getting nervous. And I was trying to reflect on why am I nervous? And I don't know why I was nervous. Because you've been such a wonderful part of St. Bernardine's lives, and the wonderful gift that we've been for each other. And so I am grateful to be able to be here tonight just to share a little bit about that relationship between we as your clergy and you as God's people. Again, remembering that we have one of the other questions I think that has come up, just to share with you, because we are assigned to a parish, we are given a place to live, so we don't have to worry about rent. We are given a salary, so we don't have to worry about eating. And people are very kind anyway. Suddenly, sometimes food appears at our door, and that's always a wonderful gift to have. We are also provided a vehicle, so many of our needs are taken care of. So it's not, like here you are in the new community. All right, here's this salary. Now you go out and do what you can do with that to make a living. We don't have that, and so I'm grateful that the church provides that for us. It's a wonderful opportunity to, again, be of service to the community. We live on site. Or if we don't live on site, we live in a house outside, just right outside the parish. And one of the wonderful things that has happened over the years is we used to live above the shop. So the offices were downstairs, and the priest lived upstairs, constantly in the flow of all the other greatness and experience of life. But then the wisdom became, well, why don't we move the offices to another place and allow the priest to have a home? And so I'm very grateful that that's provided here and in other places I've been in. So we don't have to live above the shop. If we want to go down to the kitchen, we don't have to worry about running into people. I like to wear shorts and T-shirts and bare feet, and I don't want to scare anybody. So it's wonderful to be able to have that too. So again, I thank you for this opportunity to come and share tonight. We normally in our tradition, I think we're about 10 to 12 minutes that we can preach. So I think we're just about there. And it's just, again, I look forward to continuing to know more and more about our communities working together. I know that there are other events that are happening in the coming year, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. So may God bless you all, and may God bless all of us as we continue to share God's goodness with others.
Amen. Amen.
So just so you'll know, when I speak, they don't clap. Just so you'll know that. It's actually tradition in synagogue where we don't clap in general in terms because it becomes very subdued. They kind of want to, but it's sort of there's this idea of when you pray or speak on behalf of God that you don't have public clapping, although we clap the prayers and like that. But they are so moved, and it's absolutely permissible to be able to acknowledge and welcome to your new home. All right, give them a hand one more time. Go ahead. Shauna, get back up here, you. Come on. Page 46, the Shamru speaks of the covenant of Shabbat between the Jewish people and God, and Shauna's going to lead us, and we're going to join together with her.
יגדל ויתקדש ורבה ביום הדירה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב ואימרו אמן יהי שמרבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילם יתהר ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואיברו אמן
Page 47, you'll find there a prayer we call the Amidah, which really means the standing prayer. We're going to stand in just a moment. It is one of the most intimate moments we have of moving into space with God. So you'll see many people, choreography of backing up and moving forward and bowing during the silent prayer. Whether you do Hebrew or English, really it's a moment for connectedness. So it's a beautiful time for private prayers as well. We love introductions and meditations that help open our heart. At the page 47, you'll see on the English side, it says, Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may speak your praise. So we're going to teach you all a little bit of Hebrew if you don't know Hebrew tonight. Repeat after me. Adonai.
Adonai.
Spatai.
Spatai.
Tiftach.
Tiftach.
Ufi.
Ufi.
Yagid.
Yagid.
Tehilatecha.
Tehilatecha.
It's a praise because opening our hearts is not so easy to do. Right? And there aren't words, right? When you have love for somebody, you can't really articulate in words. It seems so inadequate. What we're praying for is that our hearts can be open to somehow let the love that we feel for God, for humanity, for everything that we have in life to be able to open up. So I'm going to ask you to rise at this time. We're going to join together in this kavanah, this meditation of opening our hearts, and then you'll continue silently and just feel that oneness and connectedness as we join together.
Na 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 na
Silent, those of you praying through the Hebrew, acknowledging this is Rosh Chodesh, the new Hebrew Jewish month that we observe today as well. finished with your prayers, you may be seated.
Shalom Ra Al Yisrael Amcha V'Yaakov Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Ra That's my boy. O Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Ra Al Yisrael Amcha Ve'Yaakov Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Ra Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lecha HaShalom Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lecha HaShalom. All right, here we go. Shalom Ra, Shalom Ra, Yisrael Amcha Ve'Yaakov, Ve'Yaakov, Yoshvei Tevel. Shalom Ra, Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov Be'einecha Levarech Et Amcha Yisrael B'chal Eid U'b'chal Sha'ah B'shlom B'cha Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Ve'Yaakov Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tov Be'einecha Levarech Et Amcha Yisrael B'chal Eid U'b'chal Sha'ah B'shlom B'cha Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Ve'Yaakov Yoshvei Tevel Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam Tasim Le'olam.
Every other month here at Temple Aliyah, we celebrate anniversaries. By the way, we're putting our cantor on ice, is what we're doing here. Everybody always said we have the coolest cantor in town. But he's got some back issues, and we're going to take care of him. We celebrate every other month anniversary, what we call anniversary Shabbat, And so we're going to share. What we do is we just send out some questionnaires for them to be able to answer. This particular year, the questions are, what is your first memory of your spouse? 2, if money were no object, what one thing would you buy for your spouse? 3, what is your favorite place that you visited together and why? So I'm just going to share a little bit for the couples who are here this evening, 1 or 2 of the answers that they provided. First of all, a couple celebrating their first anniversary. I want you to give them a hand. Katie and Mark, where are you? There you are. Stand up. Come on, stand up.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Calamigos, France. No, stay standing. Stay standing. See, you haven't done this before. You don't know. Stay up. That's right. And if you ever want to hear a great proposal story, just ask them. Ask Katie to share with you. He'll be modest about it. But what's the first memory you have? She wrote meeting him at Borderline, and there were immediate sparks. Mark wrote that listening to her beautiful voice while she was in choir in high school. So he had the crush back then. That we know for sure. If money were an object, I would take him to Israel for his first time. And if money were an object, I would buy her a house. That's very nice. Ah, you can always go, ah. Go ahead, ah. All right, happy anniversary. We're going to have you stand up at the very end again with everybody. Paul and Judy, stand up. By the way, celebrating their 2nd year of marriage. Between them, they have 4 children, and you are blessed. In 2 years of marriage, that's quite something.
You think I've got a back row.
I don't even know what to do with that. I'm seldom at a loss for words, but here we go. What is your first memory? They actually met him when it was his late wife, Claudia, and I thought they were such an adorable couple. And his first memory is just that she was beautiful. If the money were no object, would you buy lots of beautiful curly hair for him? Right, and he would buy her a world cruise. We want to wish you a happy anniversary, 2 years. That's wonderful. Give him a hand. Go ahead. We're moving on to 17. Is it 17 years? 17 years. Bob and Tori Epstein. Tori, are you able to stand? Go ahead. All right, there you go. All right, 2 children. And what is your first memory of your spouse? She was a ring-a-ding photographer. She wrote ring-a-ding for, what's a ring-a-ding? Artsy, craftsy, yes, that was what you said. There she goes. Did you ever lose control of your congregation like this? I just wanted to. And her first memory was he was a mean attorney. There you go. And if they could take a favorite place you visited together, Israel, of course. Very nice. Give them a hand. 17 years of marriage. Epstein's 25 years stand up together. They have parents here, their daughter, everybody. They have 2 children, and Erin's here right there. Is now in graduate school at UCLA, so it's such a pleasure to have her. What first memory, her smile and laugh. Would you 2 stand together, please, for a moment? You ever learn your parents should never get in between you? That's always the first lesson. And he was funny and smart. And if your money were no object, what would you buy your spouse? Hawaii. The island? That's fair. Not even visit, just Hawaii. That was good. She would buy him even better season tickets to the Dodgers and Lakers. Now that's love. Rhodey, if you're home watching, that's love. I just want you to know that. All right, happy anniversary, 25 years. All right, give them a hand. We're getting to 30 years, Val and Jeff. There you go. Come on, have a stand. 30 years. All right, their son Joey, and both of them. Are you both of you from London? You're from, no, you're American. Yes, I forgot. So here's what I wrote. What is your first memory of your spouse? We met on July 4th at a party on the rooftop in Santa Monica. Jeff said, you're English, you're Jewish, marry me. Does Joey speak with an English accent at all? He does. When he that's the way, the best pickup line is when you can do it with an English accent. Absolutely. If you were money were no object, what would you buy your spouse? The New York Yankee team. Okay, that's for him. Okay, good. And a second home in London to be near Val's family. Oh, happy 30 years anniversary. 33 years. Rick and Beth, where are you? Stand up, please. Come on. Married all the way in beautiful downtown Anaheim. There you go. 2 children, none are here, right? Nobody's here. And they answered, what is the favorite place you visited together? Why? Israel, because we both experienced the land of the people for the first time together just last year. And so it's your favorite place. So we want to wish you Mazal Tov on 33 years. All right, give me a hand. Debbie and Stan Strom, where are you? There you are. Stand up. 34 years. All right. Woo. All right. 3 children. First memory of your spouse, Rikudei Israeli folk dance. And you both were dancing? Well, I didn't know that, Debbie. I didn't know you would dance like that. That's very nice. You met, and if money were no object, what would you buy? Debbie answered this question. Top of the line digital camera, because he loves photography. Well, good luck with that, Stan. I hope that comes true. All right. Does anybody, are the Jaffes here? You are here. Great. So don't get up yet. Is there anybody who didn't turn in a sheet that is, the Horses didn't make it, did you? I didn't see Lou and Hermine. They said they might not get here because they were 62 years. The final couple is going to be 60 years. Is there anybody who here September, October, Temple Aliyah celebrating an anniversary, just want to be able to acknowledge how much are you have your anniversary? September, October. How many years you've been married? 16 years. That was just fast enough, not too slow to get points. That was very good. That was really, really good. Anybody else? 31 years, Jill. Richard, it's a pleasure to have you both. 31 years. That's remarkable. Anybody else who want to acknowledge? Let's get on then to the Jaffes. Stand up, please, if you will. 60 years. Give them a hand for that. From Dayton, Ohio. That's where you got married? Yay, for Dayton. You both from Ohio? From Ireland. Yes, you are from Ireland. So how did you end up in Ohio? Coming for 3 months. That little trip didn't work out so well, did it? There. Look what you got for it, though. 60 years later, they have 3 children, 5 grandchildren. If money were no object, what one thing would you buy your spouse? They both wrote the same thing, good health.
Amen, amen.
Tell you what, all the anniversary couples, whether you're Temple Aliyah or even if you're St. Bernardine's, you're celebrating an anniversary, September, October, and you just want to share it together, let's have you stand. We're going to offer you a blessing. All the couples celebrating anniversaries, Hazan, let's do this.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's presence always shine upon you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the love that you share not only inspire your families, also our community and everyone to know in life, relationships and goodness can prevail, and that you bring light into this world for all of us. And let us say, Amen.
Od Yishama Be'arei Yehuda Ubechutza Yerushalayim Kol sasa ve'kol simcha Kol chata ve'kol kala אתה בקולך לה לי לי לי
Rise together this time. We're going to sanctify the day, Kiddush. We do it with the wine, and you'll be able to find on page 55. Those of you who know it, you're welcome to please join in with Shauna as she's going to lead us. Here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon yichiltanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit Yom Tefillah Lemikra Kodesh Sefer Yisrael Kivanu B'charta Ve'otanu Kidashta Mikol ha'amin Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
It's real wine, just a little sip. That's good. All right, you can go back. We're going to remain standing, please. Page 56 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים מבעם, ושנינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשב אותה אל לבבך. אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ויח הארץ מתחת. אין עוד, על כן נקבל לך אדוני. כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
end of all of our worship services, we include a prayer which is called the Mourner's Kaddish. It's a sanctification of God's name, and people who are in a period of mourning stand to recite these words and during the first year as they remember someone, or on the anniversary of their passing, we remember them as well. On this particular Shabbat, remember the following individuals whose passing occurred during this week. We mourn the passing of Jean Bermel and Susan Fenton, Harry Gelfond, Zelek Goldberg, Benjamin Carlton, William Malinoff, Lois Pravda, Harold Roth, Gussie Schneiderman, Sarah Silken, Julian Berman, Goldie Jacobson, Miriam Norber, Scott Rich, Annette Robinson, Pearl Schnall, Jonathan Singer, Lillian Steinberg, Rachel Tarika, Adele Wishner, Helen Woods, David Baker, Sarah Bookbinder, Marie Grod, Louis Quartowitz, Erwin Rosoff, Benjamin Wixel, Selma Aronow, Francis Ralph Atkins, Fred Frey, Sylvia Goldberg, Mildred Gross, Helen Heckel, Jerry Hockman, Julius Klein, Harry Allen Morowitz, Miriam Moss, Hermine Rosenthal, Martha Schaefer, Ann Zimbler, Louis Eli Balaber, Marjorie Francis Berger, Joel Dinsfrin, Edward Ginsberg, Ella Gottfried, Jerry Krutman, Harry Langsam, Ida Litvak, Shirley Bernadine Margulies, David Spiegel, Arthur Spiegel, David Abrams, Kay Chalom, Alfred Dinsfriend, Edward Halpern, Rebecca Lieber, Julius Long, Philip Marchant, Barbara Marer, William Moss, Harold Dine, Daniel Green, Hilda Rosenbaum, and Marvin Schiff. Also mindful and saddened by the recent passing of Hank Grossman, the father of Glenn Grossman, a longtime congregant. His father passed away in Florida. The funeral will take place there. We also mourn the passing, I just heard, of Alex Romano's stepmother. And so, Alex, here you are. And so our hearts go out to you. You're going to have service next week, I think. And so any information, people can come to you and ask about it. So our heart goes out to you and to your entire family at this time. For those who have need or desire to recite the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, page 58. And those of you who are visiting this evening, you'll see that there are communal responses that they indicate to these people that they are not alone and that there is community to give them strength and comfort as those standing recite the words of the Kaddish together. Yit, Gadal, Yit. Amen. B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beis Yisrael b'galav v'zman karit. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabban Mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha brichu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran bi'alma v'meru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al v'meru amen. May God, His presence brings peace into the heavens, bring peace and harmony into our lives, all of Israel and all of humanity, as we all say, amen. You may be seated. My pleasure to call forward Julie Devine, our president, who's going to share some announcements. Come on.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Temple Aliyah's Bluegrass Shabbat service, and Mazel Tov to those celebrating anniversaries in September and October. A warm welcome to our friends from St. Bernardine's and a special Brachum Habayim. Welcome home to Father Michael Evans. Our home is your home. It's a pleasure to have all of you here tonight. Tomorrow morning, our Shabbat service begins at 9:15 a.m. with the bat mitzvah of Shana Hemityar. Looking forward to that. Next Friday, October 27th at 7 p.m., we have Shabbat Live. And please note the new time and shorter service, it's now 45 minutes. Next Saturday, October 28th, our Shabbat morning service begins at 9:15 a.m. with the bat mitzvah of Molly Sarto. Information on all Temple Aliyah events can be found in the blue and gold Kol Shabbat pamphlet that was handed out to you this evening when you walked in, and also on our website at templealiyah.org. Thank you to Phil, our usher, and our greeter, any other greeters we had tonight, Debbie, Stan. And we are so happy to have all of you here this evening. And thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Hemetiar for sponsoring tonight's Oneg Shabbat in honor of Shauna's bat mitzvah. Lastly, I'd like to remind our congregation and our visitors to refrain from using any electronic devices as we celebrate Shabbat, and we appreciate your thoughtfulness as we maintain the sanctity of our Shabbat service. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Just also the band. So we.
Oh yeah.
You want to acknowledge your
sure,
band? Go
sure.
ahead.
I don't know them. No. Okay. Justin Stein on bass, Fred Sokolow on dobro and mandolin, and Pat Cloud on the banjo. Jared Stein. That's right, on the violin, and ZZ David Cohen, and Kelly Stein, and Amanda Pippolos joining us tonight.
Very nice. By the way, a special treat. Those of you, I just want you to know a trip that we're one of the sponsoring institutions. Many of you may remember our cantor, Mindy Harris. Remember her, right? She is putting together a trip to Uganda to visit the Jewish community there. We've had a connection with the Abudaya to do a number of things, including safari and things that have sort of come together. There's going to be a kind of informational trip here in a couple weeks.
November 12th, I believe.
November 12th, I think in the morning here. And then it's for next summer. Do you remember the dates?
I think July 6th or something like that.
Okay. And it'd be a wonderful opportunity. I would love to go if I was able to. This is one trip that's definitely on my bucket list to go. So if you're interested at all, I promise you it will be phenomenal. You can look for publicity. And anything else, Hassan?
Any good back doctors? No.
Anybody?
No, just kidding.
Nobody walking on your back. Just somebody to... We'll take care.
Clergy Boys. If you haven't gotten your tickets for Clergy Boys.
Clergy Boys are wonderful. Oh, my goodness. It's fabulous. Hazan, our cantor, 3 other cantors from around the country are going to come together. Calabasas High School. And it's just a lot of fun. You can't miss it. It's amazing. All right. In the meantime, we're going to conclude our service by rising together, page 211. Amanda, you're going to come up and help us again. This is a Don Olam. If you know, you'll join along. By the way, Dennis Zine. Right, our former councilman, always a pleasure. Member of St. Bernardines, we love having you around. Welcome always, my friend. Pleasure to have you. Okay, page 211, Adon Olam.
Adon Olam, Asher Bala, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, V'itnasa, V'chepso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'itnasa V'chepso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'acharei Kichlot Hakol Levado Yimlo Noram Vehu Haya Vehu Hove Vehu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'itnasa V'chepso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Vehu echad B'en Sheni Lehamshilo Lehachmirav V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'ha'oz V'ha'misra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'itnasa V'chepso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'ado Akid Ruchi Ve'tishan Ve'a'ira Ve'im Ruchi Geviyati Adonai Li Ve'lo Ira Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra V'itnasa בחפצותו, אזי מלך שמו נקרא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כה הצהיר לי והתנשא בחפצותו, אזי מלך שמו נקרא.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.